Alright guys, so I had to remove all my panels that were on the ground because my new dog is just running all over them. And he's 50 pounds, so he probably could break one if he hit it just right. What I got now is I got 10 panels in series on one spot where it's going to get a lot of sun in the morning, but not going to be good in the evening. But I guess that's okay. We're headed into winter. There's always a compromise with where you can put these, even if you professionally mount them on your roof. Like my neighbor's house has them on the back of his house, which is basically the equivalent of the front of my house, but which is great for him because nobody sees his panels. They're all on the back of his house, and they get sun in the morning because that's like kind of like southeast over that direction. So he even cut down some trees, which was great because they were actually blocking some of mine too. But once the sun goes over the peak of his roof, he's done. But I think he has panels on the other side too. So for me, I've got everything in the backyard, so the sun doesn't even hit it until it goes over the peak of the roof. In midsummer, that's early in the morning, but as the year goes on, it gets a lot worse. So you can put panels along the side of the house, and it'll catch quite a bit. Like I've got like 6 panels or 5 panels that I I don't really have a way to hook up right now, and they're in full sun right now. So, but right now I'm meeting the load requirement of the air conditioner. So by 1 watt, it says I have 1 watt going into the battery. So there's a bunch of other panels on the other side of the house, and they're laying on the ground, and some of them are laying up against the wall, and they're just not doing well. They're only 172 watts out of 10 panels, and that's just because of where they're at. So you went into a point where you buy a lot of these older panels that don't put out full power, and you've got to cover a large area. So if you don't have like a big huge solar array thing where you can have them like stacked 3 tall on a big tilt thing, then you're going to be having problems. I would love to just go ahead and in the front yard just put a big massive metal array that has solar panels 3 high, and not only would it catch sun most of the day, but it would block out having to look at all sorts of people. It'd be crazy, but I'm sure that they wouldn't be happy about it. And even though I have off-grid solar only, they say, oh yeah, you gotta have a permit, blah 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 blah, if you're gonna professionally mount it to anything. So yeah, I guess you could just leave them laying in your backyard and getting covered in mud when it rains, and that's okay. Just don't put them on your roof, which honestly I am not a fan of solar panels on a roof, because you could damage the roof. You're putting lag bolts in the roof. You're creating a situation where if the roof isn't in good shape already, then you might end up with a leak. And then, in order to fix the roof, you ought to remove the panels. But it is the way to go to have them on the roof for the most part. Except for there has been some incidences with certain brands of panels that have caught on fire and burned people's houses down. So that's another thing too. If you don't have them on your roof and they catch on fire, you'd probably be okay. More high quality panels would be better. Okay, so I pulled all these off the ground here. Now they're all over here. Every single one of these gets sun in the morning. These ones maybe a little bit, and so if they're not, They're going to drag these down because they're all in series. So these are going to have to be tied in parallel to catch sun at the last bit of the day. You can see they're getting a little bit right here. And you can see how he has his catch the sun all day, but once it hits that peak of his roof, it's done, it's over with. And that's the same thing with these, probably even worse. So the only other place I had to put any of them was here. And we get this worthless thing that doesn't work in the way. And here, and this will catch sun all day. So I'll run a string over here and get the right amount of them together and then just parallel them, and that should be fine. Because if you parallel them with a string that gets sun all day or part of the day, you can have them switch over. So anyway, so I needed a place for him to run so he wasn't running all over the solar panels. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Sit. 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 Oh, you're not going to sit, are you?